Hey y'all, welcome to A Little Bit Petty. I am Skylar Badu, and today I'm here with my cat Theo. I'm just kidding. Actually, I am here. Oh, my guest is leaving. Wow, you can never get good guests nowadays. I'm just kidding. But I kind of wanted to do a quick episode by myself. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and I don't know. I've never done something that was just this off the cuff where it was just me talking to y'all directly. Because, I don't know, it just hasn't spoke to me yet. And now I get to sit here and talk to y'all about what's been going on in my mind. And I never really talked about why I changed my name to Skylar Badu. And I didn't want to sit here and, while I'm interviewing someone, also fully tell, why I decided to come out at this point in time, right now, and become who I'm officially am, and that just sounds like I am taking, I don't know, it feels like I'm taking away from the interview rather than giving to the interview, but now, since I'm by myself, I can finally just, really be unfiltered and say exactly what I'm thinking at the moment, and, we can get a little bit petty while we're at it, but, also at the same time, I think that, this might be a little bit more Skylar, or Sky talking to themselves, just maybe a little bit of self-reflection. So if you're down for that, come along with me for the journey and let's get into it. One thing I have been thinking about a lot recently, and my big name change was my name didn't feel like it fit me, if that makes sense. As I go through life, I'm realizing that I'm a little bit more feminine, and I exude that energy a little bit more. And I don't know, I just felt like my previous name, Justin, was just a little bit too harsh for me. I don't know, it didn't feel like me. And, as I'm figuring out my journey through gender expression, Skylar just feels like a name that I feel comfortable with no matter where I am in my fluidity. And I don't know, I feel like I really needed to do this for myself as I'm going through my journey through gender and sexuality. And it's crazy now that everyone's like, oh my God, I love your name. I've gotten so many compliments on Skylar. And it just feels like those are just affirmations or signs that I made the correct decision of picking a new name for myself and really understanding who I am as an individual. And it's been really, really, really nice to kind of sit in that. And also at the same time, I feel like I have made a trigger for myself almost with my name being Skylar now, because whenever anyone says my other name, even though I've been my previous name for a very, very long time, so I get it, I understand, people make mistakes, people will introduce me as someone else, I 100% understand, but it doesn't mean it still doesn't trigger me and make me feel uncomfortable when someone says the wrong name. And I don't know, it's a new chapter in my life, and I feel like Skylar it's just so nice. And whenever I write poetry or plays, I always add the name Skylar, and it's been a name that's been throughout my life since I can remember. I remember this one, I forgot exactly who, but this one girl having it on a TV show. And it literally, when I heard the name, I was like, oh my God, I want that name. Oh my God, I want that name. That's who I want to be. That's how I feel. And it was this beautiful girl. I'm forgetting her. I don't know why I'm forgetting it now, but when I heard the name, I was like, oh, yes. And if you're wondering where I got the Badu from, I got it from Erica Badu. And I was just like, oh my God, Skylar Badu, that just sounds so nice. And then a Skylar Badu Petty, and that, I don't know, I like my last name a lot, and I feel like Petty is really cute, so keeping that last name Petty is really nice. But when I go out in public and talk to people, I just introduce myself as Skylar Badu, because Skylar Badu Petty is a lot. And I'm just really happy with the name change. Like, I feel like I haven't been able to talk about it. And it's something that's also been a little bit scary, too. Because as I go deeper in understanding who I am and, like, really presenting as who I am, I also understand that comes with a lot of caveats. And, it I find myself now being more uncomfortable when I don't present exactly who I am, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I've gone throughout my whole entire life pretending to be such a masculine force and be like, and I didn't like that. I never really liked that. And like, as something always felt off. And then like, when I started embracing my femininity more and my fluidity more, I realized that I can, like, love my femininity and still love, like, and go out in public and feel confident in my femininity. And adding Skylar to that, I just feel like boosted that even more. I don't know, like, I just feel like right now, as a non-binary, gender non-conforming bitch, it has just been really nice to kind of like just have a new chapter in my life. And I don't know. It's been real. I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's really the main point. Like, I just feel like this is a new chapter. I'm turning, like, you know, when you turn the page, when you close the book, that's where I feel like I'm like opening the book and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna close it. Like, now it's time for Skylar Badu, and it's time for me to even love myself even more. Like, I feel like Skylar just gives me this freedom. And like, now, like, it's crazy because like, when I've never really thought about it like this deeply and out loud before, because I'm basically just talking to myself. But there's a mic in front of me, so it's just podcasting. So look at that. Great podcasters can hold a conversation even with the air. But for real, like, yeah, I'm just feeling so much more like me recently. And I don't know if that's the name change. I don't know if that's me finally accepting exactly who I am. But whatever it is, give me more of it. I'm less depressed because of it. Speaking of less depressed, my therapy recently just ended. And let me tell y'all something. Let me say this. Therapy is important, okay? Never, ever, 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 ever look at therapy as a bad thing. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I would always think of therapy and like people who were insane and and I had this like really weird misconception, and then I realized that that's also something that my mom taught me, and that can go way far back. But now I just feel like when I had that therapy, like, and it was only 8 weeks of it. Actually 10 weeks, I got to extend it. When I did go to therapy, it was so nice to release those feelings and talk to someone that can help you analyze those feelings. So if you're thinking about going to therapy, this is your sign. That's what I'm saying. If you're thinking about going to therapy, this is your sign. Because if you're thinking about going to therapy, you probably need to go to therapy because you're thinking about going to therapy. You know what I mean? Like, if I look at like a mark on my leg, I'm like, I might need a Band-Aid. No, bitch, you need a Band-Aid. You're bleeding. Right? I'm not crazy. Like, that's how therapy works. Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling anxiety ridden, like mentally ill. If you can have the resources, find therapy. Also, there are I promise you, if you search up, and this might not be for everywhere, but like for most big cities, if you search up free therapy for like queer individuals, I promise you I promise you can find something. Like when I was younger, like my friend actually hooked me up with a lot of like queer therapists that were free. And when I first moved to Chicago, like that's crazy to think about. That's insane. Especially now that the pandemic has happened, I feel like that like area of profession is just boosted up, and like you have so many more ways to get there now, and calling people, and like I just feel like therapy is just a really really great resource to use during this time. And when I'm not gonna lie to y'all, when I got from being sick, because before this podcast, I've talked about it a few times. I think probably in the first couple episodes. I was super duper sick, and it was really scary. It was one of the first times in my life where I feared for my future and my life. And I've never felt that fear before. It was one of those things where I would I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, and I would wake up and people would put needles in me, and I would go to sleep and people would put needles in me. Like people did blood tests literally all day for like 2 weeks, and it felt so like, oh my God, scary. Like that was intense. And one thing that really got me through that experience of being in the hospital for 2 weeks, and really like being scared for what's gonna happen next, was this breath doctor, air doctor, anesthesiologist. I don't know. I just spilled a cup of water. Hold on. We'll be right back, because we're not only going to be spilling the tea on anesthesiology, but also we're spilling the water on the table. Be right back. Okay, y'all. We're back from the water being spilled. Like, gross. I hate water. Water is wet. But Skylar is back, and yeah, long story short about the anesthesiologist, they were just really kind to me, and they made me feel like I wasn't crazy in the hospital, and good people in this, there are really good people in this world, and yeah, that's what I was going to say about the anesthesiologist. I realized when I was, because I rewatched a little bit of this back, and I was like, girl, stop rambling about your anesthesiologist. No one wants to hear you talk about your time in the hospital. And I've talked about it before. I'm pretty sure. I'm really sure I've talked about it before. But, yeah, I didn't really know how to like bring this up exactly, because I just wanted to raise a little bit of awareness, and I always want to use every single one of my platforms that I have, big audience, small audience, whatever, to help amplify the voices of the people and what I think is right. And y'all, what happened in Uvalde, Texas, should have never happened. I am never gonna be a bitch that ever says that, oh, we don't need more gun control, when the evidence is right in front of us. It just makes me really, 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 really sad every time I think about it, and really, really sad that that there are so many people, that there could be someone in this world that could look at children and look at the young people and see that terror. I am only coming on saying this because there is a GoFundMe that I want to amplify and help support these families that have lost something that they can never, ever get back. And I want to say that to all the families that are out there and lost, and lost their children to gun violence. I am sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And I'm just saying this to say that everyone look, vote, please, please. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I have been the best at this, but now more than ever, we need to not just vote in these primaries. We need to vote in these half elections. We need to vote in our local districts, because it's these little things that help with things like gun violence. And like I said, there will be a GoFundMe in the bottom, in the link for these families, to give them whatever services they need to help them get through this. Because I'm not going to say that it's going to be okay for a while, because I'm not going to lie, I feel like they don't even want to hear that. But I don't know. It's awful what happened there, and it just goes to show how much work America needs to just look at what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and look at the people who we're affecting and not be so selfish. Sorry, I'm trying not to get too angry or frustrated, but I feel like that was something I definitely needed to bring up. And I wanted to also bring resources to y'all so we can help these families out and just raise awareness on how important it is to vote, and how we really, really need to relook at how we distribute guns in America. We really do. That's it. That's all I'm going to say on that. And again, nothing but my condolences to all the families. And like tomorrow when I get paid, I'm definitely donating to that GoFundMe, because not only do I have the ability to share it, which if you do not have the money, which I definitely get, I 100% get, share this. That helps too. Share. You don't even have to share this podcast. Just share the link with your friends, with your family, with everyone. And I just think it's really important that we make sure that we are doing our part. That's it. And honestly, y'all, with that being said, there's been a few things in my mind like that, and another thing that I've been seeing is a lot of violence against trans people. I don't know if there's an uptick. I don't know if people just are not caring as much as they used to, or maybe I'm just noticing it more. But the violence against the trans community, especially this close to Pride, is insane to me. Insane. The stories that I have seen of trans people being so close to the police department but still getting hurt and beat up. Like, there are so many trans people, so many queer people that can't even walk these streets without feeling unsafe, and it's awful because it's just people living their truth. And I just feel like that it just sucks that there are going to be people who always hate someone just for being themselves. Hate me just for being myself. Like, don't give me, like, when I go outside presenting them or exactly how I want, it is scary because I never know how people are going to respond. I never do. And, yeah. It's hard to kind of just sit here sometimes and just think about it. It's just like, wow. People just don't like me because I'm being myself. And that sucks. No matter what anyone says, no matter how strong you are, that just sucks. And I think they're like, yeah, that just sucks. Also, I didn't want to end this podcast on such a note, but I feel like with things that are going on in America right now, with everything that's going on in the world right now, it's hard to just sit back and ignore it, and it would be tone deaf of me to not bring it up and talk about it on my podcast, a platform where people listen to me and understand and or I think have the same values as me, or you wouldn't listen to this podcast 100%. Like, I have so many queer people on, and we talk about so many. Yeah, y'all are the tea, and I know that y'all are gonna hear me out and understand exactly what I'm saying. And I just think I just wanted to spread that message out there. And if there's a question on if I think that we could get better, it's anything could get better if you put effort into it. Like, literally, if people, to bring, of course, the pettiness back in it, if people could just stop being so petty and digging their heels so far in the dirt, I feel like we could have a lot more progression in this country. Because I feel like there are good people everywhere. It's just their circumstances are different. And if we take the time to not only educate these people or educate our friends or talk to people about it and spread our message, I just feel like that would just lead to a better world and more understanding, and hopefully getting us to a place where we can feel safe and comfortable as ourselves again. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Wow. But y'all, I want to say thank you for listening to my stream of consciousness for about 20, 30 minutes. I don't know exactly where we are, but somewhere in between that. And just remember, if you see a trans person or a queer person asking for help, share their post at the least, or donate. It's very important to make sure that we show our trans and queer youth that we love them and we support them and we want them to complete their journey to be themselves, because who doesn't want that for a person? Who doesn't want a person to be happy? If I can end that this podcast on something, I want it to be that. Thank y'all for listening, and I cannot wait to see you next time with my guest, who I'm recording with tomorrow. I'm very, very excited. It's love of me. I'm just gonna let y'all know on that now, because I'm just really excited about it, and I don't know how many people are gonna make it to the end of the podcast, but I'm just love. Okay, I'm so excited. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening, and I can't wait to see y'all and get a little bit petty with y'all next week. Bye. Mwah.